Hola from Portugal and welcome to the beautiful Portuguese port of Cascais, which is the venue for the first of 5 regattas for this year's Audi Medcup series. The Medcup series of 2020. First event of 5, as I was saying, and we're into a new level of competition here. We've got new boats, we've got new rock star clientele, if you like, new skippers, new crew. And this is, well, one of them here, Mike Sanderson from the British America's Cup Team Origin campaign, who are here amongst a number of America's Cuppers taking part in this Audi Medcup series. This is really the Champions League of sailing, and we've had drama aplenty here today. Here in the studio with me today, Adrian Stead, who's been the centre of very much drama and what has been an action-packed day, race day 2 of this regatta in Cascais. Now, first of all, Ado, he is from Quantum, and he was, if you like, the tactician. But you tell us what happened on board, that suddenly we found that you were the driver.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we went to hoist the mainsail this morning, Terry sustained a blow to the top of the head by the boom, and so we started sailing, and very quickly it was apparent that Terry had to go ashore immediately and to sort himself out. He was very concussed, and so we got him in the rib with one of our sailors, who's a medic, and he's been for a CT scan. He's been passed okay, been told to rest, and hopefully we'll see him back on the racecourse on Saturday.
Okay, now Terry Hutchinson, of course, is the skipper and very much the mastermind behind the whole of the Quantum project, and you know, former champions. You've been leading here. You're suddenly thrown in literally at the deep end. When did you last actually helm a yacht, the start of a yacht race as big as this?
Certainly haven't started a yacht race for a while on the helm. Helmed a lot of boats over the last couple of years in offshores or things like that, but sort of being thrown in right at the deep end is definitely an understatement. But you know, with the team on the boat, were first of all we were all very shocked and sort of quite upset, to be honest. And we pulled together, we got on with it, and you know, everyone on the boat just did a great job of making my life easier. We had a very simple game plan of keeping out of trouble and be conservative and basically keep the boat intact so that when Terry comes back he's still in one piece.
Okay, well, we'll be hearing more from Ado in this highlights programme, but before racing we also talked to some of the other key figures here. Dean Barker from Emirates Team New Zealand about swanning around at the very back of the pack, and Tim Powell off Christabella about riding at the front after the first day of racing here, where we had 3 races and plenty to talk about then.
Well, first one we had a bad start, and we recovered as well as we could have really in the circumstances to get back to it was a respectable race. It wasn't obviously what we're looking for. The second one we had a really nice lane, probably in the top 3 going up the first speed, and we just got completely out of phase with the shifts and sailed ourselves backwards through the fleet. The standard of the teams is very high. The racing is going to be tough. There's no question about that. You just got to try to be consistent. You know, today was exactly the way we didn't want to sail. We just need good, consistent results in the sort of top 4 or 5, and that'll be good enough to be in contention. You know, what we need to avoid is the bad ones and the good ones. Mixed emotions, but it's better to finish well than finish badly. So, you know, we're still very confident in our boat, the guys, you know, and that we can sail well, and still, you know, I think we're 5 points off the lead, and that's even though we're in 8th position. You know, the position really is irrelevant right now. There's still 7 races to go, a lot of points on the table, and so a good day tomorrow and we're right back in contention again.
Well, yeah, obviously very, very well. You know, we came in boat of the day. The conditions were very, very tricky, and we kind of kept our heads together and got some good shifts. We had some bad shifts, but in the whole, it was, you know, it all very positive for us. The boat's going well. I think the team's working well, and we got the first shift right on the first beat in the first race, and that kind of set us up for the day. We've done a lot of work over the boat over the winter. We've got a new mast, we've got new sails. So, you know, everything that we've done training-wise so far this year has all kind of been very positive. So, you know, we came into this regatta in a very positive frame of mind, so we'll see how it continues.
Okay, Tim Powell there. Now we're heading into the race day action from today, race 1. You're up on the start line. Very briefly, just tell us what was going through your mind that here you are, you've got to do it.
Well, we had time to do a couple of tacks before the start and did one go at the line just to get a feel for how the boat turns and everything, but very much we were not going to mix it at the starboard end where we figured all the action would be. But no, it's good. We got the boat going really fast off the line. We felt confident, and yeah, we had a little chance. We thought there might be something out the left to start with, and it held all the way out the beat, which was it was lovely to lead around the women mark.
Okay, well let's see how this actually pans out, because we've got race 4 of this Cascais regatta, and let's get stuck into it and see what happened.
Nice start from Quantum Racing. Top end of the line, Luna Rossa looking smart straight off the line. Bow in front up on the right side of the course. Luna Rossa tacking off early.
We're watching Quantum, and then, well, it's a pretty tight fleet in there, isn't it, Andy? Up at that top end of the line. Well, we're looking there at Quantum, Synergy. Oh, and there's been a split already. Luna Rossa and Audi A1 heading out to the right-hand side. They've opted to head, banging right straight away, Matt.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that, because Luna Rossa had the right end of the line. They were close to the committee boat. Audi A1 were there as well. And as we've seen in the previous 3 races yesterday, getting out to the right early can often be the decider. If you can get out there into clear air, it's definitely an advantage. Now we see the bulk of the fleet there still heading on starboard, and they're actually heading out towards the left-hand side, and there we get the shots of the action, live action out there now. Now, one of the problems that these boats have got, especially the ones that we're seeing now with Quantum in the picture, then Synergy, then some of the others, is it's really difficult for them to get over to the right, even if they wanted to, because they've somehow got to cross the bows of all the other boats.
Yeah, sure, that's Quantum just round the mark now, as you say, about 50, 60 metres ahead. Emirates Team New Zealand coming round second, then it's going to be Synergy, and then very close between the 2 British boats, Christabella and Team Origin. Origin will have the inside berth and should have a slight advantage. But really, Terry Hutchinson yesterday talking about making the left side of the course pay, and really they did a perfect job in that. And in these kind of situations where the breeze is shifty, they should be able to just use the wind shifts to best effect, and should be able to get richer.
Okay, that's Richard Meacham up on the bow of Emirates Team New Zealand. There's the end of the gate here as Emirates Team New Zealand swing around to follow Quantum. It's looking pretty sharp and breezy out there, Andy.
Yeah, it's still very puffy, very shifty, and gusty up at the windward mark, and that's been the key yesterday through all 3 races, and again just managing the approach to the mark.
Well, we're just seeing Quantum and Emirates Team New Zealand come together, as you said, Martin, and that advantage line, according to Virtual Eye, is reducing right down. We're down to 10 or 11 metres, and that's basically head-to-head in anybody's language as they come together. Quantum on starboard tack coming in towards the Kiwis, who are on port tack. What are the Kiwis going to do? Interesting. Bow goes down on the Kiwis. Are they going to dip them? This will be very interesting. It looks like the Kiwis are going to go round the transom of Quantum. Now, given that they were head-to-head as they came together, the Kiwis could have tacked just underneath Quantum and bounced them off to the right-hand side. But what the Kiwis have done in actually giving away a bit of distance and going around the back of Quantum suggests to me that they like what they see on the right-hand side and they want to get over there and get to it. If they tacked underneath Quantum, they would have allowed Quantum to go off to the right-hand side. Now the table has really turned, and if Quantum want to get back over to that right-hand side, it's going to be the Kiwis that dictate terms.
Okay, now we're seeing something very interesting, which I thought I noticed before. We're looking at Quantum now, and the driver if my eyes aren't deceiving me, is not Terry Hutchinson. It's Adrian Stead, the British navigator. And I did think that before, because Terry is particularly distinctive with the white mask. They take the win for Emirates Team New Zealand. Dean Barker there. Total lack of emotion, which is pretty normal on a Kiwi boat. No man love, no man love. And they will be quietly very, very satisfied with that. But Quantum a second. And that, I think, my maths aren't, it's not my strong point, but I suspect that might put Quantum on the top. And all it means for Team New Zealand, very significantly, I'm not saying that it's not insignificant, but it means that they've chipped another point away, because they've got a bit of a deficit to make up after their shambles of the first two races. So this is how the scoreboard looked after 4 races, and I was right for a change, and that was Quantum Racing up at the top with that second place. Emirates Team New Zealand climbing a little bit more out of the mire than they were before, but really the Quantum epic second place was the story of the day, without their skipper Terry Hutchinson, and instead with our guest here in the studio, Adrian Stead. And looking at that now, what sort of what sort of feelings does that conjure up for you?
I think it was really important for us to go out there and try our best. I mean, it was quite a blow losing Terry, and it was we all went out there and tried to really nail the race. In a way, disappointing that we maybe slipped Team New Zealand, but we sailed well. We sailed conservative. We got ourselves at the top of the leaderboard after the race, and I took a lot from it, a lot of confidence from it all. And
what we should talk about is the way you had to juggle the numbers, because you've lost Terry, the helmsman. You're the tactician coming in to steer. You're already 3 people down than you would have been normally a year ago, so you're still learning new positions. So how did you juggle those numbers? Because you'd have to bring somebody on board.
Well, we got Bloodsy came back in the rib, having gone and looked after him, so we got him back. Then we had Chris Kendrick from our shore team came on and basically covered the pit. Tommy Burnham, who's our pit guy, came and did tactics, and then at the top and bottom mark he went back to the pit. And so we it was a bit Brazilian football team, but everyone really put in, and we were very, very pleased with the way we sailed the boat, and it was a great team performance.
Okay, so what Adrian Stead had to go out and do was try and do it again in race 5, which once again was an absolute cracker with an awful lot to sail for. And everything's just so different in terms of the way that anybody can win one of these races.
Moment as they come in towards the weather mark, and here we have the shot, Audi A1 coming in towards the weather mark, just a boat and a half length in front of Artemis. They're now going to be setting up for their kite bear-away hoist, but they're also going to be considering what their tactics are going to be and trying to anticipate what Artemis might get up to when they come around that spreader mark.
Now, Andy Robertson on the water. Are you hearing us again now? So we just
we are. Thanks, Martin. We're just watching Audi A1 coming towards us.
Okay, now Matt was just saying before about the way that they've closed the gap. What did you see? How did you see that affected? Well, there must be a real battle going on now.
It was that progressive shift further inshore for Team Origin that just gave them that gain coming up the top third of that beat.
Well, this is suddenly game on, isn't it? We're looking at some fabulous pictures here.
Certainly in contention against Artemis, I would say. And it will be a real test of Team Origin's downwind speed, I think, in these conditions.
Well, we're obviously going to follow that fight downwind with Ben Ainsley there, renowned for his skills downwind. And this is, well, which way would you go now? There's Ben Ainsley at the helm, and he knows that he's got himself right back into a real scrap now, because There's not a lot between these three boats at all.
They did have a bigger distance to catch up, and they have sailed deeper, but it hasn't worked quite as well. I don't think Team Origin are actually in the hunt for a win on this. I think it really is between Audi A1 and Artemis. Artemis, we see there, put all their faith in that left-hand side as we look up the course. In the left-hand side, they powered over the top of Audi A1. They made it look really uncomfortable for Jochen Schumann. Jochen Schumann kept his cool, waited for that breeze to come down that he could jibe onto, jibed onto it, still kept his cool, and has now got a tiny advantage over Artemis. Out of the two, I'd rather be on Audi A1 at the moment, but my goodness, it's close.
And what amazing images we're getting. These boats are really shifting in this breeze. And the skill of sailing downwind, I think if you watch it here now, you'll probably see them pumping. Here we go. They're trying to ride the waves and pumping down. Andy Robertson, you've got a better view of that than us. How's it looking?
Absolutely, I would have my money on Artemis at the moment. They've been planing faster all the way down both of these legs, and I've got more pressure now outside. Audi A1 just looking a little bit more, and Team Origin just weren't quite as slick through that important jibe. The kite just for a few seconds.
It's looking to me, I don't know how close you are there, I don't know how close you are there, but we've been giving Paul Coward all the credit for this, but it does look to me like it's another change of helm there, that we've got our owner driver here, Torben Tonkvist, it looked to me, at the helm of Artemis, doing a great job surfing his boat down these breezes, and that's another thing that was... But we're just going to check that. It certainly looked to me like Paul Coward was sitting just behind the helmsman. And I think I'm right in saying that Torben Tonkvist, who is the bankroading this campaign, is a really obviously keen and highly proficient yachtsman. Unless I'm mistaken, he is in town and he is at the helm now. But I stand to be corrected. I can't quite see him because of where the boom is at the moment. But there we're seeing how close it is between. Well, in fact, that's Origin. So that's the camera doing us a little bit of a disservice there. But we're watching now that Artemis really have stretched it out, and the battle now is between Audi and Team Origin. So that gamble of Artemis to stick out there, take the hot angle, is sure paid off. They've picked up that shift brilliantly.
It certainly has. I mean, one of the things about these boats is it
coming
really
in from the left of the track. Are getting that first, and they've now accelerated a little bit quicker than Audi A1, and a few seconds Artemis have a little bit slower.
Now, is this an optical illusion, or are we seeing Audi being overtaken by Origin?
From our viewpoint, we can see Team Origin's bow appearing all the time in front of Audi A1.
Well, this is going to be a real classic little scrap to the line. So, well, according to Virtual, Origin would appear to be laying the finish, but what's your feeling on that?
I think that...
Go ahead, Andy, and then the Matt.
Sorry, the Origin have the advantage just now. They're at a large wave and just surfing nicely, a lot quicker than Audi A1. I'm not quite sure about their ley line. They may, although Ben bringing the help, going into the committee boat. I could see this being Team Origin's race.
It is certainly looking as though Origin are going to win this race, and that shift to the left, somebody spotted it.
Absolutely. Well, one of the advantages that Origin have is that they're further up to, if you looked up the course on the right-hand side, so as the gusts come down, they can actually stick their bow down and actually surf down towards the line.
A little bit of pace as they get down to the line.
It is, and we can see this close. The gap is closed absolutely right up, and there's Team Origin. Whoa! Team Origin just no. Well, we're through the start line. I'm not quite sure where the call is. Oh, now who?
And Artemis have just dropped their kite in the water, just trying to get across to the mark.
We've got Virtual telling us that it's Team Origin, and have got it by, well, they can't even say by how much.
Yeah, certainly, Martin, from our transit, and we were just on the line but moving, I would have Team Origin winning that.
Well, that's an extraordinary result. I mean, they looked... Origin looked like they were going to have a very nice, comfortable third. And then Artemis, that's the most astonishing set of changes. And that's just wind shifts taking a choice. Well, I mean, that was an incredible finish.
Obviously, we have a very good reason to celebrate. We won our first race together as a new team, Audi A1, powered by All for One. So we have a beer now for good reason and because we win our first race. It was a tight one. And obviously, it was probably the most windy race we had so far, also for our team. So it was about 23, 25 knots. So surfing conditions, and actually we struggled a little bit. I think Artemis was a little faster, so they rolled us on starboard, but they went outside us, and in the end they ended up too deep and couldn't make the finish with the spinnaker. But from behind, with even more pressure, Origin came and rolled us on the other side. But then I think diving into the finish, we just made it by about 5 meters, which is good enough to win that race.
Yeah, it was a good day, solid day, no big mistakes, which is in a 50 race series what it's all about. So we're happy. Yeah, really exciting last race. We kind of wind was switching between a wind off the shore and a wind off the sea, and we kind of knew it was going to go back hard right, but so we got ourselves on the inside, and when it hit we almost managed to roll over All for One, and they pipped us on the line. So that was a really fun race.
So Ian Percy there, probably slightly gutted because when you've been told you've won and then it turns out that you're only second, a little bit of a disappointment. But enough to put Team Origin 1851 up at the top of the table. What we didn't see there was that Emirates Team New Zealand, having been at the bottom of the fleet for much of the race, fought their way back up into 4th spot, and that's lifted them up into 2nd spot behind Team Origin. But not such a great race for Quantum, who slipped down to 4th. And it was a pretty rugged second race for you, Ado, at the helm for the second race on Quantum.
Yeah, I mean, we were in the hunt at the top mark. We actually led Team New Zealand around the top mark, and we sort of lost our way a little bit down the first run. I called for what I thought was a jibe set, and to be honest, it was the best solution was just to send it out into the ocean and learn the boat, get the hang of the boat, and let people make the mistakes around you. But it was tough down the bottom of the gate. We probably had about 22, 23 knots, and yeah, there were 4 or 5 spots to have straight there, and then a very, very gusty and shifty second beat with the breeze going from 335 to basically east of north at one point. So yeah, some big shifts. Last run though, fantastic, great fun, great sailing. Yeah, the boats were screaming along and very, very enjoyable. So bring it on tomorrow. Okay, well, they were screaming along, and they weren't the only yachts screaming along, because we've got, of course, alongside the TP52s, the GP42s. And they were racing in just the same, even more wind. Watch this. We can see Madrid Cascais looking in a really commanding position there in the middle of the line. And if that start is clear, then that is a really good start from the Madrid boat. Iberdrola out up to windward of them. Peninsula Petroleum down to leeward, and I would have thought in a pretty uncomfortable position there. So Islas Canarias and Arias, a very late start there from both boats, and Islas Canarias heading out towards what we know has been all day the favoured right-hand side of the course. Now as the spinnaker pole comes out, indicating a bear away set there. So what are you looking at there now as the pole begins to lift up, Dobbs?
Yeah, yeah, Martin, Canarias is just now approaching the top mark, and it's interesting because within a boat length of the mark they get hit with a big puff and recovered from that, but have now rounded the top mark. They've got a comfortable lead. But without a spreader, it's actually interesting because that puts a lot of pressure on the teams to do a good job with the smart grounding. You know, without that offset mark, to then get the bow team set up to get the pole in place and the spinnaker sneak going. You know, this really puts a premium on good crew work.
Okay, well, let's see how Madrid goes, and Paolo Chan and his crew just closing in on the mark. There is the mark now, spinning around. It is blowing a bit. There's the kite trying to get away. Poles up. Up goes the kite. Looks pretty clean at the moment. But with that breeze, Aires Canarias first round that mark suddenly make this big jump and gain a quick 80 metres on top of what they had before. So they're back out now to 184 already as Madrid tries to set its kite. This Jose Maria Ponce, he's really working this boat, and these are fabulous pictures we're looking at. But what I was going to ask was that when they came round the mark, you talked about a bit of a gust that the lead boat had. Did they get that gust and then take off a bit? And it looked a bit softer when Madrid came round.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Martin, I didn't catch all of that, but I'm watching now. Actually, there's a pretty big puff is rolled down, and Madrid, you probably see this on virtual, is really going fast. They are bringing more pressure toward Puerto Calero. There's a big bow. Again, I don't know if you have this, but they're really throwing a big bow wave and really going fast now, trying to close the gap with Calero. And actually, the guys that are behind the back markers, Aries Essential and Iberdrola, they've got quite a bit of pressure there as well.
Well, it's showing it. There's Madrid have got a good knot and 2 knots more speed on than or more than this boat that we're looking at now. We're actually looking at pictures of Puerto Calero, and they're flying as well. But clearly, Madrid's flying, and even flying a lot quicker still, and they're eating up the meters. But for how long? I mean, at the moment they're going 3 knots quicker, something of that order, than Aires Canarias, than Puerto Calero. So and they're getting back to that just 100-meter advantage line as they're closing in. But for how long will the puff last, and then will Aires Canarias get something of their own? Here we are, we're watching. Well, I see what you mean. These are great pictures. And Paolo Chan is absolutely surfing this boat. That is, I see what you mean. This is terrific stuff.
Well, that's right.
Now you can see this. You can really visibly see the speed difference, and he is making huge inroads ever so quickly.
Well, I think, Martin, what he's doing is part of that is being in a lucky place to get the pressure as it's come at him. Another is changing his sailing mode, where he's become aggressive and really going into an attack mode.
Well, you're talking about aggressive. The look on his face, he's absolutely got the bit between his teeth.
Well, and that's right. And now Canarias is getting nervous. They've jibed, and Madrid is now jibing on them. So just as predicted, you know, Paolo Chan, aggressive match racer, has turned the game back into Calero. You've got the numbers there, but it looks to me like they've closed up to within just several lengths.
Well, the distance now, 77, 80 meters. That's suddenly all there is between them. And well, virtually is showing that you know, it's they really have drawn that down. And looking at the pictures of the boat, it's absolutely flying, isn't it? Handshakes all around as Aires Canarias, Puerto Calero cross the line to take the win. And just over Madrid, who put up a fantastic fight. Paolo Chan now is closing in on the line. The delta is around I think about 15 seconds. So they did really close that one up. And but it's Aires Canarias, Puerto Calero take race 2 today in this Audi Medcup GP42 series. Great win in testing conditions. And they've played their cards beautifully. Well, what more could you ask for? We've had an incredible day's racing. It's been full of different drama and events. In particular, we've got Ado Stead. Thanks for coming in today. We wish you well tomorrow, and I take it that you are fighting to get in there tomorrow briefly?
Dead right. I mean, to be honest, yeah, we're 5 points off the lead. We've got 2 opportunities, 2 races tomorrow to get back in there, get right back in the frame. We learnt a lot today, the way we sailed the boat, and if we don't have Terry tomorrow, then we will make it work even better. So looking forward to it.
Okay, no doubt he'll be watching. We wish you very well, Terry Hutchinson, and from the Audi Medcup TV studio, we're going to be saying farewell. We look forward to seeing more of this tomorrow, and if we get more of this, we're being spoiled. Good night for now.